بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. So now we're moving on to اللفيف المقرون. So اللفيف مقرون is quite simple because it's basically the rules of naqis apply in lafif, but just which rules apply to which ones. So it's nothing complicated, it's a matter of understanding the types of lafif. So if you look at it here, we finish all the way to, we've done mu'tal, we finished mithal, which is mu'tallul waw. We finished mithal, we've done ajwaf, and we finished naqis. Now we're here on lafif al-maqroon. Okay, we're on lafif al-maqroon. So al-rabi'u al-mu'tallu al-ayni wal-lam. So lafif is basically a mu'tallu maqroon, meaning they come together. This is the lafif maqroon is a mu'tallu al-lam ayni wal-lam, where the both the ayn kalima and the lam kalima are harf al-illa. And this is called وَيُقَالُ لَهُ اللفيف المقرون. Laffa, the two aspects, laffa they wrap together, the harf al-illa are wrapped together, and the maqroon they come together. So the harf al-illa are wrapped together close by, and the mafruq means separated. Okay, now before we go into the text, what we need to understand is what's being discussed and what's happening. So because there are two harf al-illa, so for example, there are two harf al-illa. So there's a waw kalima, so for example, if you look at it here, the fa kalima, the ayn kalima and the lam kalima. So one combination is the ayn kalima is a waw and the lam kalima is a waw. Both are waws. Yes, that's one combination. Another combination is the ayn kalima is a waw, the lam kalima is a ya. Second combination. Third combination is the ayn kalima is a ya, the lam kalima is also a ya. The fourth combination is this is the ayn kalima is a ya and the lam kalima is a waw. But that doesn't occur. You don't have an ayn and a lam. You don't have a scenario where there's a ya in the ayn kalima and a lam in the waw in the lam kalima. Yes, so far? So good? You understand so far? That's why we have 4 boxes, 4 columns to determine, well, it's lafif, 4 combinations of lafif. Lafif can be waw lafif, waw ya lafif, ya lafif, and in theory ya waw lafif, but ya waw lafif doesn't exist. You got it? Are you following? Yes? Okay. Then we said we have daraba, so you have 2 mujarrad bab. You only have 2 mujarrad bab with lafif. In lafif maqroon, sorry. Daraba and sami'a. And then all the mazid fi, you have many mazid fi, but mazid fi all follow one rule. So it's not really much to discuss in there. So the first one we have daraba yadribu. So daraba yadribu, you don't get a waw combination, you get a waw ya combination, like shawa yashwi. In sami'a you get all 3 combinations. You get a waw ya and ya. So qawiya yaqwa, so it's really qawiwa, but because of the waw mutatarrifa ma qablahu maqsoor, like radiwa, so same way radiwa becomes radiya, qawiwa becomes qawiya. So qawiwa yaqwawu becomes qawiya yaqwa. We have a waw ya combination, rawiya yarwa, and a ya combination, hayya yahya. And the hayya is also a variation, we'll discuss that later on. And in mazid fi, you have the waw combination, waw ya combination, and ya combination. And this is how he discusses these combinations in the book. But it's not, so these are combinations that it's a bit varied, but in theory, but there's no new rules to learn because all the rules of naqis will apply. All the rules of naqis, all of the rules that apply, all the i'tilal that applies in lafif maqroon are the same i'tilal that applied in lafif in naqis. Understood? Is everybody following? Okay. So now we have here bab daraba, but waw ya combination of daraba. So shawa, so waw ya is waw ya from daraba yadribu. So shawa yashwi shayyan, mithla rama yarmi ramyan, or is mithlu. Yes. So fataqulu shawa yashwi shayyan, mithla rama yarmi ramyan. You say shawa yashwi shayyan the same way you say rama yarmi ramyan. So I have an example in our table book. We have rawa. We don't have the word shawa. We have rawa. So rawa yarmi to narrate. So the same way, the same exact change as rama yarmi, we have the same thing. Rawa yarwi riwayat. So rawa rawaya rawaw. Rama ramaya ramaw. Ramat ramata ramayna. So rawa rawaya rawaw. Rawat rawata rawayna ila akhirih. Yarmi yarmiyani yarmuna tarmi tarmiyani yarmina. Yarwi yarmiyani yarmuna tarmi tarmiyani ila akhirih. Exact same thing. Are you following? Everyone following? Yes, so far so good? Understood? Okay, next one we have now is Bab Sami'a. Bab Sami'a and a Waw combination. So Qawiwa, but the Waw becomes a Ya like Radiwa. So the Waw is Mutatarrif, it comes at the end, preceded by a Kasra, it changes into a Ya. Qawiwa. So Qawiya Yaqwa Quwwatan Rawiya Yarwa Rayyan. So this is what? Qawiya, this is what? This is a Waw combination of Sami'a. And this is a Waw Ya combination of Sami'a. So you've got two of them. وَقَوِيَ يَقْوَى قُوَّةً and رَوِيَ يَرْوَى رَيًّا. So a wow, so this is a wow and wow. There's a mistake here. Wow and a wow ya combination. Are you following? So this is both Sami'a and Mujarrad, wow and wow ya combination. So if you go back to our previous here, he's got Qawiwa and Rawiwa together. So both from Sami'a, but wow and wow ya combination, he's mentioned those. He mentioned the ya combination a bit later on. You got it? And both of these are like Radiya Yarda Radyan and Ridwan, but Radyan. So same thing will happen. Qawiya Yaqwa, so Radiya Yarda, so Radiya Radu Radiyata Radina ila akhirih. Qawiya Qawu Qawiyata Qawina. No difference. Yaqwa Yarda Yardayani Yardawna Yaqwa Yaqwayani Yaqwawna Taqwayani Yaqwayna ila akhirih. Same as Radiya Yarda. If you know Radiya Yarda, the qalb, the i'lal, the naqal, the hadaf, everything is the same in here. Understood? You following? Yes? What he's mentioned here though is a bit different because he's saying here in Radiya Yarda you have Radin. Radiya Yarda and the Ism al-Fa'il becomes Radin. However, we have studied in previously that if the Ism al-Fa'il usually shows a temporary quality or not a long-term quality. So for example, Qa'im, you can't be standing forever, you have to sit down. Jalis is not a permanent quality, it's not a long-term, it's short, relatively short. However, if you have a situation where the active meaning is, the active participle meaning is long-term, you want to have Fa'il, you will have Fa'il, or you have Fa'ul, or Fa'al, or you will have Fa'lan. Yes, so for example, Ghadiba is normally, it takes a bit longer, so you have Ghadban. Yes? So Rawiya Yarwa means to be sated or satiated. To be filled, you know, you're full, I'm full. Not full with food, but full with fluids. Okay? You following? Is everybody following? Yes? Okay? So he's saying here, you want to say Rawin. Yes? Like Da'in. Or you want to say Rawin or Rayin. Okay? What would you say instead? Rayyan. It becomes what? Rayyan. And so the same way you have Ghadban, you have what? Rayyan. And the same way you have Ghadba, you have Rayya. This is idgham in here. Yes? So like Ghadban, the muannath of Ghadban is Ghadba. Muannath of Rayyan is Rayya. And like Adshan and Adsha. So Adshan is the sifat mushabbah, muannath is Adsha. So when you have Rawiya Yarma to be satiated and filled with water, you will say Rawin, you say what? Rayyan and Rayya. Understood? Can you repeat that question, please? That's not alif mamdud. Alif mamduda would be whenever hamza after it. Because I'm not sure why it's written like that. It's a good question. Why it's written as Rayya? I don't know. That's how they write it. That's how it's written in the book. I'm not sure if there might be a rule to it. Number two might be wrong. I don't know. So it's a good question. Why is it written as Rayya and not like this? Why not like Rayya? I guess when you do idgham, it becomes one. So there's no extra letter at the end. Because of idgham, it's become like one. So you don't add another letter. Because in here, the sheen and the ya are separate, aren't they? But in here is the ray and the ya is the same thing. So it's not like two separate letters. It's like ray, ya. That's fine. But the ya is now merged to this ya. So that's why it's because that ya doesn't exist anymore. It's only the original ya. And the ya at the end here has now been written onto this ya. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, you understood? Okay. That's what the reason seems to be. Wallahu alam. Now you go to Bab If'al. Mazid fi, wow combination. So wow. Yes? It's not wow, it's a wow. A wow ya combination. Because rawa yarwi. Rawiya ya. This is a wow. Mazid fi is a wow ya combination. Okay, a wow would have been aqwa. He hasn't mentioned that one. Aqwa yuqwi. So that would have been the wow combination. This is a wow ya combination. The arwa yurbi is a wow ya combination. But it doesn't really matter. It's a'ta yu'ti. Let's say we have a'ta yu'ti i'ta'an. The same exact thing occurs in here. Everyone following? Yes? Okay. So for example, like aghwa yughwi ighwa'an. So aghwaya aghwata aghwayna ila akhirih. Yughwiyani yughuna ila akhirih. So far so good? Right. Now the only thing you have to pay attention to here is now the Sami'a Yasma'u Ya combination. What do you have to pay attention towards? Sami'a Yasma'u in the Ya combination. So when you have the Ya combination of a Lafif Maqrun, what happens here is you have Hayya Yahya. Not a problem. Sami'a Yasma'u Hayya Yahya like Radiya Yarda. So one way of doing this is fine. So you have the same way, Hayya, Yahya, Hayya, Hayya, and then there's an ikhtilaf now coming up. However, what some people do, instead of saying Hayya, they say Hayya. They do, because what do you have now in here? Two yas come together. When you have a wow combination, one wow changed to a ya. Here, what rule should apply? What happens in Radada? What do we do there? We do an idgham. So in hayya, you have two ya mutaharrik coming together. So one way of reading, some Arabs have read it hayya, hayyitu. Yes? Like, do idgham, you do fakkul idgham, you don't do idgham, you leave it. Idgham jaiz, separate it. Hayya. And the other ones use it as well, hayya. They do idgham. So like radda. You following? So it's a merge. So Lafif Maqrun here becomes now a merge of idgham. So it becomes like a mudha'af almost. Hayya. So hayya, in the mudhari you don't have the idgham. You leave it as yahya. So only the madhi you change it. And the masr will be hayatan. And the ism fa'il, what will fa'il be what? Fa'ilun to hayyun. You say hayyun. Hayyun. Yes? Correct? Like, yes, you following? Yeah, two options, both of them. You can say hayya yahya, karadiya yarda, wa hayya yahya hayatan fahuwa hayyun. Both of them. Yes? When it comes to the jewel, you can say hayya, like what? Radiya. This is what? Fakkul idgham. Okay? And when you have idgham in here is what? Hayya. Yes? So hayya. So radda, hayya. And then the jewel will be hayyun, hayyan. And the plural will be one, radiya, radu. He's saying here now, you can have hayyu, or you can have hayyu. And the plural is ahya. Yes? So one way he's saying here is hayyu, you don't do hadaf, you just leave it as is. You do tasheeh. You leave it hayyu sami'u. Or you follow the rules of mudha'af and you do idgham, hayyu, raddu, hayya, hayyu. Or you apply the rules of radiya and you make it وَيَجُوزُ فِيهِ hayyu بِالتَخْفِيف كَرَضُ. So when you have the third form, you can have what? So one form is what? Leave as it is. Hayyu. Or you do idgham, becomes what? Hayyu. Or you do takhfif like radu, hayyu. Understood? Are you following? Does that make sense? Yeah. Only in the Jama' form it drops. And the Amr will be ihya. When it comes to the amr, it'll be ihya ka irda. That's what he's saying in here. So when you have a lafif maqroon from both are ya, is ya'iyul ayn and ya'iyul lam. The ayn kalima and lam kalima both have what? Both have harf illa of ya. Then you have the idgham possibility of fakkul idgham. And in the jama' sigha you also have the possibility of what? Takhfif. You do hadaf, radiya, radu. So hayya, hayu or hayyu. Both possibilities are permissible. Understood? Yes? Are you following me? When you go to bab if'al, that was ahya yuhyi ihya'an, like a'ta yu'ti i'tan. There's no issue in here. Yes, you following? This is bab if'al. He's given bab mufa'ala as well, because bab mufa'ala, the masdar is a bit different. So for example, wahaya, so for example, what would it be originally? Like naja, so naja. So whatever happens in naja, yunaji, munajatan, nada, yunadi, munadatan. So the same rule applies as munadat, will apply here. Yuhayi. The masdar is going to be different. Yes? Not really the same as munajat. So muhayatan would be mufa'ala. So muha, what would it be? Muhayayatun. Muhayayatun. Correct? What rule applies? Tell me. Muhayayatun. قلب يا متحرك ما قبله مفتوح يدو قلب محايات. Yes? Okay. باب استفعال استحيا يستحيي استحياء والأمر منه استحيي, same as استوى يستوي, or استرشى يسترشي, or whatever. This is also lafif actually. Lafif maqroon. That doesn't make sense, that one. Yes? استوى يستوي. Correct? Same thing. However, in bab istif'al, when it's ya and ya combinations, another possibility is what? وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَقُولُ. Some Arabs say istaha. Instead of saying istahya, you say what? Istaha yastahi istiha'an. You drop the ya. And you say istaha yastahi istiha'an. Yes, you following? So one possibility of doing it is you drop the ya. You say istaha yastahi istiha'an. You understand? That's one way of doing it. Jaiz. But this is more fasih, because what comes in the Quran? وَيَسْتَحْيِي نِسَاءَكُمْ. That's better. Yes? Even here, what comes in the Quran? No, it comes in Mudari, comes in the Quran. يَحْيَوْنَ فِيهَا تَمُوتُونَ وَفِيهَا. What comes in the Quran? تَحْيَوْنَ. That's the mudhari, that's not a madhi. So, but this is more fasih. That this one, yastahyi with the ya. This is more fasih. That's a Quranic lugha. But some other Arabs, they spoke as istaha yastahi istiha'an. Why do this? وَذَلِكَ الْحَذْفِ. Why do you do this? لِكَثْرَةِ الْإِسْتِعْمَالِ. Because it's used commonly, so they just dropped it off. For example, what's the dalil? Can you drop things off because it's commonly used? Yes, you can. What did the Arabs say? The Arabs said, la adri. It was la adri. Because a very common word, they drop the ya off. And instead of saying la adri, they say la adri. So similarly, this is a very commonly used word, so you can drop the ya off just to make it easier, takhfif, make it easier to pronounce. Understood? Yes? Everyone following? That's the end of our lafif discussion. Okay, lafif maqroon. We still have lafif mafruq left. Have you understood what we've discussed today? Any questions from anybody? No, hadari and samaiya asma'ul af'al, and they have another pattern. That's another rule. That's not al-hazar. That's a makhsus pattern. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.